Hello everyone, welcome back to a 30-day challenge of learning Tableau from scratch, and it's day 6 today. So before we get started with today's topic, let us take a quick recap on what we have discussed in our previous class or previous day 5. So in day 5, we have talked mostly about joins. Okay, like say in real time, we will be connecting to multiple tables, how we can do joins. So while doing that, we observed a difference, like one, how can we do or how can we make a join at a Tableau level, okay, using manual approach. Then we have seen using custom SQL, and we have also seen how we can connect it to a server, SQL server, and then we have fetched some data. Okay, so all of these differences we have tried to understand yesterday. So today is a continuation video where we will discuss about a logical layer, physical layer, and blending. Again, three important concepts that we are discussing today. So let us start without wasting much time. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So let us create a new file here. I'm not disturbing this one. And while it opens, I believe in, what do you call? I believing in a working session rather than making you go through a PPT and tell you that this is what this is and all. So that's why I have not prepared any PPT. It is directly a working session with all of you guys. I hope you are liking it. And I intend to make this session very simple so that anyone can understand. If you're a fresher, you're from an IT background, you are from a non-IT background, you are an experience, everyone should be able to understand the concepts of Tableau at least. So I'll ensure that by the end of the course you are able to tackle majority of the Tableau related tasks in your real time. Now what I'm doing is I'm connecting to so if I go to this data source layer where we get option to connect it to a table. So I'm just selecting sample superstore for now. Okay. Again, if I go to data source here, we get this, right? So if you observe this, there are actually two layers here. Okay. So for now, I'm just removing it. Okay. And I'm removing it. Okay. So this is one layer, the top layer. We call it as a logical layer. Okay. And the other layer which is inside this is called as a physical layer. Physical layer is the layer in which we make actual joins. Okay. Logical layer is the modern way of joining data from multiple tables. So that difference, if you remember, that is enough. And we will try to see difference in the results that Tableau is generating when compared. Okay. So see here, if I now here you do not have any option, but if I uh, go in here, you have the option. So see here again, I can close it. So again, to explain you a lot better, I'm removing this. We will connect to the file that we have created yesterday, right? So if you remember, while discussing about the join concept, we have two files, file one, which has a name and sibling. Okay. And similarly, the other file was file two, which has a name and eye color. Now, yesterday we did a manual join where we had option to choose what is the join type we want, and we can see the results of it, right? Now, same thing I'm trying to do at both levels, logical layer level and at a physical layer level, just to show you the difference. Okay, so let us go there. So I'm just maybe I'll close this because we don't need connect to data file, and I'm just connecting file one for now. See here, this is file one. Okay. And this is our logical layer, like I said. Okay. And now I'll just add these two fields onto my view. Okay. Name and maybe I don't want this to get aggregated. So I'll convert this into dimension and I'll just add it here. So from our file one, we are getting these records. Fine. Now, if I go to data source again, I'm taking file two and I'm simply dragging and dropping my other file. You see, it is automatically establishing a relationship between these two files, and it is able to find what is the common, data type, common field that is available, and it is, having this. So this is called as a nodal. Okay, so you see here relationship file one to file two, cardinality is many to many, related fields is name to name. Now I want to see what would be the results here. I'm going to sheet one. Now see here we are getting file one and file two. So again I'm taking name from this, okay, and eye color from this. So what do you think? No, the join it applied here, or the join type it applied. Okay, so you can comment in the comment section, and you can tell me what you felt, how this is working by default. Okay, so here it took name is equal to name, that is when it matched Alex, and it is working sort of inner join, because we are getting only matching records, right? So if I remove my file one data, again I'm getting all the records. Okay, it is only when you are pulling some fields from this, it is trying to automatically filter the data. Okay, so this is one difference that you need to observe, okay, on your data. But now again I'm going to the actual layer or a physical layer. So what I'm doing is I'm just removing this, okay, and I am just clicking on open item here. Okay, so when I click on this, this is where I will have the option to choose the join type. Now you see we are getting this Venn diagram kind of symbol, where when I click on that, it will ask me what is the join type that I need to choose. This is the advantage here. Okay, but nowadays after the what do you call, or after this concept was introduced of logical and a physical layer, many are directly going with a logical layer approach, because that saves a lot of time in preparing complex joins. Okay, so that is what they are following. But if you manually want to have a specific data set, and you are very inclined towards having this, then you can go ahead and do this. So the other point to remember is, it is always recommended that you follow or you have joins at a table level or at a SQL level than doing all of those at a Tableau level, because it might impact the performance of your report. Okay, so that the point you need to remember when you are trying to have joins in Tableau. Okay, so one table, two table is fine, but if you're trying to bring in data from multiple tables, then it is always recommended to use at a table level. Okay, so this is about your logical layer and physical layer. I hope you got some understanding on this. Okay, I'll try to give you a link uh, of this topic from Tableau, where you can read in detail about how the logical layer and physical layer will work. Let us now move on to next topic here, that is the blending concept. See, not all the times business will store the data in only one data source type. Okay, so maybe some of his data is in Excel format, some of his is in text file, or some of his is in a database. Now our job is to bring the data from multiple data sources and load the results, or generate the visualization on top of that. So now let us see how we can do that. So here one difference is we need to remember. Okay, so joining concept comes into picture when you are bringing in data from same data source. Okay, so you can have multiple data sources, okay, within the same data source. Like say yesterday we have seen SQL Server. In SQL Server, I can connect to multiple tables. Okay, that is what you need to remember. But when I say blending, I am bringing in data from different data sources. One data source can be your SQL server, and the second data source can be your text file. So to do this, what I'm trying to do is I have created again data on created two files on two different data sources. Okay, so again, I'm going back to this workbook. Now let me show you one more thing here. I'm closing this. So there is no thumb rule that you should connect only one data source or prepare your view on only one data set. In real time, you might be connecting to multiple data sources, multiple data sets to create your dashboards. Okay, example, I'm connecting to sample superstore, my first instance, and I'm trying to build a view using order date, and maybe I'll also take sales. Okay, so for now, this is answering all of my queries according to the business requirement. I'm done with this. But client asked me another scenario to show in dashboard where that data is in a different file. Assume that is in our text file. So now what I'm doing, I'm trying to add that data source also into view. Now, as of now, we have only one data source. Observe here. I'm clicking on this. I'm selecting text file, and maybe I'll select this file one. Now, how many files we have? We have two data sources. Observe here, right? I can bring in fields from this as well. Now, what happened? My one sheet is referring to this data set. My one sheet is referring to this data set. But in a same sheet, if at all you want to bring in data from this data set, that is when blending will come into pictures. Within the same sheet, you might not be able to do unless there is some common field between these two. Okay, but independently, if at all you want to do, you can always do that. Okay, again, I can go to my dashboard and I can add two of them to see that. Now you see, we are creating a view on top of multiple data sources. So there is a very high probability that you might be using such cases in your real time. So just remember how we do this. Okay, so I'm just closing this because I don't need that as of now, and I'm closing this as well. So to show you, I've created two files. One is our blending file one, okay, in which we have name, a sibling, age, and salary. These four columns we have, okay. And again, I have another file called as blending file one, in which I have name and age column. Okay, so now if you observe what are the columns here, name and age, right? So in another one, what does we have? We have name, age, sibling, and salary. So two common columns we have here in this, and two columns are matching. Okay, so what I'll do here is we'll connect to these two files and we'll try to bring in the data. So I'm clicking on connect. I'm going to Microsoft Excel and I'm selecting blending file. Click open. Okay, I'm going to sheet one. So we got all the records, right? Again, I'm trying to add another file here, text file, and this time I'm adding this file. Again, I'm going back to this. We got two data sources ready in our view. Now, whatever the first field that you add from a data source, that will become primary data source. How can I tell that? Observe the symbol on this. Okay, so this is a sheet one. I'm selecting that, I got this. So I got fields from that particular sheet one. If I drag name into the view, you see, I'm getting a blue tick mark on this. Likewise, if I go to blending file one here again, okay, now you see, because Tableau identified that there is a common field name called as name, automatically established a relationship with that. That is why there is a link here, which indicates that these two files are connected using this column, particular column. Okay, you can uncheck this or you can check this. Okay, now after checking this, if I drag here, this will become my secondary data source. Okay, you see orange symbol. Okay, now again I'm doing or removing this. This time I'm selecting this file. I'll take name. This becomes our primary, and here again it is matching here. And if I take it here, it is becoming our secondary data source. So that is how it works. Okay, so remember always, you need to know what is the first field to select from and all. Based on that, you can take your necessary action. So I'm just removing it again. So first we have established the relationship. Now I'm taking name here. Sorry, from Excel I'm taking name. Okay, so from this file one we got name, but from file two I want a salary for them. Okay, or age from them. I'll convert to dimension here. Okay, and I'll add it here. Okay, now see here we okay, I'll tell you about this little later. I'm trying to bring in the name from here. Now what happened here? Only matching record we are getting. Okay, if I try to bring in salary and drop it in the label, we got that sibling. If I try to again convert this, okay, it is giving us that information also. Okay, so let us go to the file. We have name and age here. So under LX, we have two fields, right? So name, age. So we have two LX. One age is 23 and another one's age is 24. Whereas if we go to blending file, here we have name, Taylor, Alex, and all of that we have. But Taylor, again, we have here whose age is 30. So technically, the person who is here is different from the person who is here, right? So that is why when I'm trying to pull in age, you see Tableau is giving us an asterisk mark. So why does that happen? So generally when Tableau identifies that there are multiple possible situations for a single thing, then in that situation, Tableau will give us this join, okay, this asterisk symbol here, okay, see this one, okay. So here name and name are matching fine because we have name here Alex and we have name in Excel also Alex. But what is the record that we have here? Age is 30. But here age is 23 and 24. Now Tableau is confused which record I need to pick. So for one record, we have multiple entries here. Now we need to tell Tableau, okay, so whether it should match or not. So just to fix this for now, what I'm doing is I'm making this age of this as 30 to match it with my Excel. And now what I'm doing is, okay, I'll go to my this thing. Okay, I'll try to refresh the file here. Okay, so let us just refresh the file. Click on this and you can refresh. Now age is corrected. Okay, so we should technically get the age. Let us verify that. I'm only taking the file from here, age. Okay, we have age 30, you see, and name. Okay, so under LX we have two ages, one is 30 and 24. Fine. So we got our record updated. Same likewise, I'm going to name here. Okay, going to second file, taking my name. Okay, Alex matching. But now when I try to bring in, you see automatically it is identifying. Now what happened? This complete record matched, two fields matched now. Okay, one is name and another one is age. That got matched with our Excel name and age. That is when it gave us this particular record. Okay, so that is how it works. So this is the concept of blending. So automatically Tableau established a relationship with age also because it did because it identified that. Okay, so if you don't want, you can ignore this. But again, you see, because I didn't do any relationship on this, Tableau is not able to understand. But only when I matched, or when I asked this to use this field as a linking field, that is when it did a match on this also. So now age from here is trying to match from age from here. That way it is working. Now I can pull remaining fields also to get the data. So this is the concept of blending. I hope it is very clear for you till here. Okay. So today we discussed very important concepts, that is logical layer and physical layer. Very important in terms of real time and very important in terms of your interview as well. And then we have discussed about blending, one of the very frequently asked questions in interview. Okay, so you need to focus on this topic a lot. So try to create your file, or else if you need this file, you can ping me in the description box. I can share you the access. Okay, try to create two files of two different data types, and then you can try to you know see how we are getting the data. So when you get an understanding, so always try to limit the data when you are learning or when you are practicing. That way it will give you a lot of understanding of how you are getting the data, how Tableau is calculating the data. So once you are comfortable and you are very clear with the concepts, then you can increase the volume of the data. Even in real time, when we want to write calculations, we start with very minimal records, and we see that our calculations are running fine. That is when we bring in the entire data, load that, and we'll try to see if it is working according to the expectations or not. So that is very important from testing perspective and from developer perspective also. So that's it from my side in today's video. I hope this video has helped. If it does, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and encourage your friends to take up this challenge of learning Tableau, which is truly, a nice skill to be updated with. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, and have a good day.